The day of the diviner's visit comes and he is welcomed in to have a look at Royale. He does some crazy nonsense, including shaking a tambourine in her face, and manages to drive the evil spirit away. What actually happened is G popped a pill in her mouth when Papa Zhang wasn't looking. The diviner says he needs to find the source of this evil spirit before it can attack again and drain the rest of Royale's life source. He tells Zhang to gather everyone in the house while he performs a ritual to find the host of the evil spirit. He and his backup dancers show off a bit of their choreography. To no one's surprise, the host is found to be Ali. He even says the evil spirit might have possessed the late Shirley herself, which is why they look so similar. Ji expresses her agreement. After all, it is strange that Ali has shown so much care for Huaixiang and its people, even though they're not related to her at all. The diviner insists that he must take her back to his temple to cleanse her spirit, and then all of these bad things will stop happening. Yua's parents begin to push Papa Zhang to let her go, even as Jingrei and his parents are like, dude, this is obviously nonsense, don't do this to her again. Finding an opening, Ali makes a signal to the ventriloquist and pops a red pill. Her stomach immediately starts to hurt and blood comes from her mouth. It's the voice of little Jiang Yue back from the dead, and she has a lot to say. Madame Hu also pops in, of course working with Ali. I'm not even gonna ask when and how they practiced the timing on this, I'm just gonna assume there was a full dress rehearsal that we didn't see. Hu directly accuses Ji of killing her daughter as the ghost of Zhang Yue leaves Ali's body. When Ali is back to her senses, she says in the mists between life and death, she saw a little girl named Zhang Yue playing with little Royale. Royale started crying and then Ji pushed her into a rock, causing her death. Madame Ji starts to lose her composure, screaming at the diviner to do something about this evil spirit, and flashback time. No, she did not. Alright, no way to know if this is true or not, but she tells him that the child in her stomach was their son, and Zhang Li is responsible for his death. And thank you for this, because I was wondering why this man, who should have nothing but hate for Ji, would help her get rid of Zhang Li, even if it is only a temporary alliance. The diviner says all of this is the evil spirit talking, and Zhang Li must be exorcised. I knew it, I f***ing knew it. No one ever gives a shit about these maids unless it's to set up for some kind of emotional gut punch. Papa Zhang, Jingrei, and his parents all risk their lives trying to protect Ali, as stabbing Tong-er barely slowed this man down. He is single-minded in his thirst for Ali's blood. He ends up stabbing Tong-er again before the guards show up. In the frenzy, his backup dancers are killed and the guard Duke Su arranged for ends up stabbing the diviner in the stomach. But that's still not enough to stop him. They have no choice but to let him make his escape, Madame Ji in tow. The guards all give chase as Ali remains kneeling in the courtyard, Tong-er bleeding to death in her arms. The diviner manages to drag Ji through the streets a bit, but in the end the stab wound is too much. He falls to his knees and into her arms. He says he's glad that hers is the last face he'll see, and that they will be reunited in the next life. We get some flashbacks and actually a lot more emotion than I was expecting from Ji. Guess this wasn't all business for her. The guards find her crying over his body, and I wonder if that'll be addressed because that is a weird reaction to this man you're not supposed to know. Ali sees Tong-er off to her next life, cutting a lock of her hair to keep by her side, and leaving Tong-er with a lock of her own hair as well. The men come to take her body away, and at first it looks like Ali is going to handle this stoically, but it becomes too much for her. She runs after them, begging them not to take her away. She's crying, her family's crying, the guys are like, can you let me do my job? No, but really, it is a touching scene. Now that justice has finally been served for her daughter, Hu is ready to rest in peace. She hangs herself, leaving a letter that says she's going to meet her daughter. Her note also says Ji was the one who killed Zhenzhen, Zhang Li's mom. Thankfully, both Grandma and Papa Zhang are able to see the note. Meanwhile, the Emperor and Duke Su pat themselves on the back for a job well done. They finally got to clean out the Imperial Divination Department. Again, really appreciate that they have their own motivations. Nice wrap up for Royale's journey into maturity. I enjoyed watching her get out from under her mother's thumb, and I hope she becomes a better person. Now on to her mother. This lady really killed a little girl, ruined another little girl's life, and then just continued on like nothing happened. That's practically a superpower. And again, we're going back to it being the way she was raised. As always though, there comes a time, like with her daughter, where you've just gotta make your own decisions in life, and she chose to be a child murderer. Based on the way she was willing to literally burn this man alive, I don't think it's a stretch to say she would be willing to lie to get him on her side. In the end, I guess it doesn't matter who the child's father was. What I want to talk about specifically is their final scene together. When I saw her lack of expression when they were running through the streets together, I thought it was so cool how she just looked like, ugh, let's get this over and done with. She knows he's dying, she knows she will be safe. I cannot exaggerate how excited I was. It was such a deliciously cold expression she had on. But then, all of a sudden she's having flashbacks and crying over him. Like, what? Even a few tears I could understand, but why this sudden light switch? This woman murdered a kid, caused her own miscarriage, lit this guy on fire to burn alive, and all of a sudden she's like, no, my love. Damn, this is just not the direction I thought we were going with her character, and I really hope it's short-lived. Moving on, Tong-er was a cutie pie, and I'll miss seeing her. Honestly, there really were quite a few scenes of Shirley and Tong-er together. It didn't feel like this reaction came out of nowhere, and though she suffered just a bit from my every thought is for my mistress syndrome, she did still feel like her own character. I honestly wondered if she might end up with Jing-Ray. She always seemed to love his antics. You know who really has that maid syndrome? G's maid? She's crazy. We've already established that G is a psycho, but this maid as well held a dead little girl in her arms, tossed her in the water, and again, not a twinge of guilt, sympathy, any human emotion. Which is weirder still because she's a very emotional person when it comes to her mistress. Now, this is a clear case of the syndrome. Just whatever Madame G wants is the right thing to do. I don't have any thoughts except for what's best for my mistress. To wrap things up on a lighter note, this super cute scene.
我以前想着我欠你的事一样一样还给你，现在算算，已经还不起了。
别还了，
那你就亏了。
亏得起。
Alright, I'll shut up about the favors now. That was cute as hell. Till next time, thanks for watching.